is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything sports betting. Every stat, matchup, breakdown, even live odds and spreads to bet on during games. With the largest catalog of odds on everything from football, MLB playoffs, NHL, NBA to political props. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with over 150 slot games. Head to the website today to get on the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. Bet online. The game starts here.
Thank you for making Saints Central your black and gold home for the New Orleans Saints.
Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that?
Yeah. Huh? Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shade for the championship. Fucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, then you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Yeah, probably like this, and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this, and I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
We shouldn't have to endure this dumbness by this off-code coach any longer. This should be it. Saints go down, man. This is the end. Should be the end of Dennis Allen's tenure as a black and gold coach. This is pathetic. This is 6 straight losses in a row. How could you keep your job and you've lost 6 games in a row? The Saints are now 2-6. 2-6. They got Carolina coming up next week, Atlanta after that, and Cleveland after that. If we want to salvage this season, we need to fire this guy right now and move beyond. He doesn't have a clue. This team is not it. He needs somebody. Some heads got to roll for this. You can't lose 6 games in a row as a team and then keep your goddamn job in the 3rd year. Absolutely not. But you can if the team is ran by an old emotional jackass who don't want to admit to a bad hire. It really wasn't him. It wasn't his idea. It was Sean Payton. He listened to whatever Sean Payton tell him. And Dennis Allen don't care. As soon as they can his ass, he just going to go run over there and join Sean Payton and be on his coaching staff. You see how this go? He already secured. He done screwed up your team for the last 3 years. Hell, I don't care. When I get fired, I just do what Pete the Rat Carmichael do. I just go run and Sean Payton will give me a job. That's what they do. So anyway, Black Preacher Man, shout out to you, brother. Says Kubiak is not what we thought he was. Kubiak, it didn't make the adjustments, bro, like he's supposed to make the adjustments. Like even in the game, you give Kubiak Taysom Hill back, you give him Chris Olave. Those guys are playmakers back, and the offense. It's a different thing when nobody knows what you're doing. That's why I was saying in weeks 1 and week 2, the Saints look fantastic. But 2 things. People didn't know what they were going to look like during preseason. They had a lot of that. They hit it. And then when regular season hit, they were able to get 1 or 2. But then 2 things happened. People started studying film on you, and then injuries started mounting. He could not adjust to get guys involved in the offense that wasn't guys like Chris Olave, Taysom Hill, and Alvin Kamara, Rashid Shaheed. Couldn't do it. And when those guys started getting hurt, the guys behind him he needed to rely on, he didn't know how to do it impactfully where you can keep things going. Now he has those guys back. What's the excuse now? He was able to gain some of those guys back and they were able to run, but it wasn't a functional offense where they can operate the run with the pass. The play action was disjointed. So they were running and they had a couple of plays where they picked up chunk yardage, like what Elvin Kamara had ran and did his thing. They had a few fringe runs here or there, but at the end of the day, how do you explain that? How do you get that? I don't get it. I don't get it at all. But anyway, thank you, bro. Appreciate that, man.
Thank you. Get fucked too kind.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate you, Black Preacher, man. Dropping the science, brother. Oh, my goodness, man. All right, brother Rich says, Q, at this point, DA needs to take off his shirt and run off the field like Antonio Brown. He going to hang on. He ain't going to resign. He got to be thrown out. The guy has no shame.
Thank you. Get fucked too kind.
I don't know where, and thank you, brother. I don't know where you could be at any team and still be able to keep your job after losing 6 games straight. And then the way you're losing, you scored 10 points in the Denver game on Thursday night. You had a mini bye, extra time, and the Chargers played on Monday night. The Saints played the previous Thursday. They had extra time to prepare for the Chargers. The Chargers had a shorter time period, but still was able to put 26 on the Saints, and the people average 18 points a game, offensively speaking. They're one of the lowest offenses in the game. But they put up 26 points on the Saints today. And the Saints went from scoring 10 points against Denver to scoring 8 points against the Chargers with an extended time frame. Explain. And we'll go to hear all of the crap from their mouths as soon as we can. We'll hear from them as soon as we can. Jameis look good today. Shout out to you, brother. Appreciate you for that, man. Because he did look good today.
Thank you. Get fucked too kind.
They had people missing and still beat the Saints. Williams says that all the Saints do is get players hurt. Thank you, Will. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Get fucked too kind.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate you, man. I don't know. It's just crazy, man. It's absolutely insane. We'll go to the interviews and momentarily, man. Let me go over some of the statistics before we do that. The final halftime stats for the matchup. Here is just off-putting, man. To watch this team do what it do, and it just off-putting. All right, but anyway, crazy, man. Crazy. All right, here's the team, the final stats. 19 versus 15 was the first downs. The Saints were 2 of 16, fam. These people was a lousy, stinking, trifling 2 of 16 from third down today. The Chargers were 3 of 12. 68 plays for the Saints versus 64 by the Chargers. The Saints had 366 yards versus 378 by the Chargers, 13 all on the drives. Saints averaged 5.4 yards a play. The Chargers 5.9. Passing yards, Saints 249 versus 256. Took 2 quarterbacks to get that, by the way. Then you look at the running statistics. Saints had 117 yards rushing on 21 attempts, 5.6 yards per carry. If you were to take that stat and say if the Saints would have done that, they should have won the game. They didn't. For whatever reason, even they got $117, it still didn't translate into a cohesive offensive unit. Usually you run the ball, get into the play action. It didn't. I don't know how it didn't work. How you get $117, but in many parts of the game, the Saints kind of abandoned the running attack. If you thought about it, like in some of the game, they didn't even have to really do that. They didn't have to really abandon the running attack like that. That's, during the third quarter, stuff like that, because they were trailing, but it wasn't that vast of amount of a trailing where they couldn't be able to put the play action with it to kind of do some stuff. But in the end, for whatever weird reason, the Saints gave $117, but they still was not able to get, it's weird. They averaged 5.6 yards a carry. And still it didn't work. They were 0-1. They went to the red zone. They were 0-1 in the red zone. The Chargers were 2-3. The Chargers had 122 yards rushing on 29 carries, over 4 yards per carry. 2-3 in the red zone. Saints had 7 penalties for 66 yards. It's just crazy, man. It's repugnant. To be honest with you, the type of stuff that we had to watch this crap these people do. It's repugnant. I don't know what to say about the Saints offense, fam. I'm gonna just be honest with you, man. I really don't know. From what I was seeing, from what I seen from these people, man, it's just not what it hit me for. I'm just gonna be honest with you. It ain't hitting right. All right, then we go into the rest of the game. There's possessions. You can see the time of possession 31:08 for the Chargers, 28:52 for the Saints. And the players, the plays just wasn't made. Spencer finished the game. He was 12 of 24 for a buck 56. Jake Hayner had 9 for 17 for 122. Each one of these quarterbacks, one was sacked 3 times, the other one 2 times. Elvin Kamara, 10 carries for 67 yards. He averaged almost 7 yards a run. Taysom had 4 for 20 for 5 yards. Kendra, 3 for 16 for 5.3. So, I mean, they were running the ball effectively. We just decided to do something else. The Saints had 20. They basically doubled their attempts in terms of what they were doing. Like, you talk about what the Saints were doing in passing the ball. We doubled the attempts. We kind of went into the passing game. So we kind of abandoned the run, even though the run was kind of working for us. So at the end of the day, it just really, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to say about this, man. I really don't know what to say about this one, man. This one here got me. It's kind of weird, to be honest with me. To just be honest with your fam. This one kind of got a little weird for me. I don't know what to say about it, man, to be honest with you. So at the end of the day, man, the Saints lose this matchup, man. Chris Olave, 8 catches for a $107, 3.4 yards average right there. Elvin Kamara, 6 catches for a 55. Juwan, 3 for 48. Taysom Hill came back, 2 catches for 21 yards, 4 carries for 20 yards. Taysom was not as impactful as we thought he was going to be. Pete Werner had 9 tackles. He had a dropped interception in there that could have stopped that last drive. DeMario, 9 tackles. Tyron had 5 sacks in the game. Colin Sanders got 1. Hugo Amadi got 1, half a sack for Alante Taylor and Chase Young, 3 altogether. It just turned into what it was. You look at the rest of Hayball had 9 punt attempts today for 437 yards. He averaged over 48 yards per punt. He put 2 as touchbacks and 5 of the 9 inside the 20-yard line. So at the end of the day, it's just one of them situations where the Saints could not bring this around. It just didn't work. It didn't work. It didn't work. So the Saints lose again. They're now losers of 6 in a row. They're lost. They're 6 in a row right now. And what do you say about that? I mean, at what point where's the line at? If you're Mickey Loomis, if you're the New Orleans Saints organization, where's the line at? Where's the line at? Oh my goodness, man. Where's the line? Where's the line? I don't get it, man. Where's the line at? All right, Don, bad guy. Thank you, fam. Says these results impossible to look beyond Q. I know, bro. Appreciate you, Don, fam, for that.
Thank you. Get fucked too kind.
I don't know what to say about this. It's all trifling. It's all so sad and pathetic. It really is. Losing this way, like last week against, it's everything around. It's just, okay, we lose. All right, we lost. But it's all other stuff around how you lose. It's all the other stuff around how you lose, right? It's the fact that the Saints had plenty of time to figure this out. They had plenty of time to get this together. They had plenty of time. They lost to Denver last Thursday, right? They lost to them people last Thursday. The Chargers played on Monday Night Football. They lost. So the Chargers had a shorter time frame to get ready for the game. The Saints had all of that time, and they still offensively did not score. They scored 2 points less than what they did against the Denver Broncos. They were totally ineffective offensively speaking. They ran the ball, but could not get that to translate into success. Like even when Spencer Rattler was in the game and they were using Rattler, they couldn't get the running attack going. Then in the second half, they started getting it going. Then you mix in with penalties, you mix in all this other stuff, and it's just hard to account for. I don't understand how. I don't get it. I don't understand how you go backwards in points production. I don't get it. You gain, and then the thing is, you got starters back. You should be able to. You got two offensive start. You got two offensive linemen back. You got Cesar Ruiz, who gave up a sack toward the back, and he's rusty. You got Lucas Patrick, who's in there. They weren't as crisp as you would like them to be, and we expect that because these guys just came back from injury, so it ain't gonna be an instant thing. They missed multiple games. We understand it'll be a rust factor. I said that that's why I picked them to lose in the preview stream. We did the preview stream a couple of days ago. I think it was on Thursday. I said, no, I ain't picking the Saints to win. I think they're going to lose, despite the fact I knew that they would gain some of these guys back. But I also knew that the Saints would have to prove to me that they can run the ball effectively enough to get into the play action so it have an impact against the Chargers. Now, I knew the Chargers wasn't going to make it a big game because they couldn't score any points. I mean, they averaged like 18 points a game or 19 points a game. So 26 today from the Chargers is like, bam, that's something big. I don't understand, man. But at the end of the day, I'll tell you one thing. I do understand there is no way Dennis Allen should be able to keep his job going up against the Carolina Panthers after losing 6 games in a row. That hadn't been seen since 05. Since 05, almost 20 years ago, we have not suffered through a 6-game losing streak. And we're suffering through this because of Mickey Lomas not want to admit to making a mistake and pull the trigger and fire this man and move beyond him, and so we can repair the team. It doesn't fix everything. It doesn't fix everything, but firing Dennis Allen is a start because we then have to go over the healing process of what we need to do moving forward so we can still be competitive this season. His control or his leadership is no leadership, is nothing. He's not a motivator. And I told y'all, when he gets in a hole, he's not going to be able to coach himself out of no hole. He's not going to be able to do it. He's not made from that. He's not no motivational dude. That possum is not going to be able to get out of no hole. Black Preacher Man says, it is what it is. The Saints are a poor coaching team. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you on that.
Thank you. Fuck too kind.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate you, man. All right, we got. I'm pretty sure they about to bring. We'll bring in Pops Q into the broadcast. Pops, how you doing, man?
Oh, I'm doing fine, son. I'm doing fine.
All right, Pops. You see all this craziness that's been happening. We're about to Dennis Allen to pop up there momentarily. This is the stream. But listen, this is horrible. They did worse than what they did against the Denver Broncos, and they had extra period of time. What's your analysis on the game?
Well, they didn't execute. And I don't know what the problem is. They had some players back, some players that could have helped them. But there's a disconnect between the young quarterbacks and Derek Carr being a more experienced quarterback. They obviously suffering at that quarterback position. But I've seen some guys I've seen some plays that just, that they can't seem to execute at the time they need to execute the plays. Some of the plays are just, it's ridiculous to see some of the plays that's going that they were doing that they couldn't even get the pass. It was offsides, penalties. Look at the number of penalties. They get in a good field position, a good position to do something. Somebody holds. Then they get set back some yards. They lose yardage on holding calls. You had a couple of pass interference calls. The team is not prepared. They don't seem like they're ready to play. It's not to me. I mean, when I watched the whole game. They did not seem to want to play. Like they really had fire in the belly. But that you need,
Yeah, this was awful, man. Watching them play and perform, the offense didn't even show up in this matchup. I mean,
that's right.
They did get over 100 yards rushing, but the offense, it was disjointed. There was no real flow to the game. And even when they started to get stuff going, it was penalties involved. And it was a joke. Like during the game, the process, and you've seen the Chargers were basically just doing what they do, working and milking out the clock. They wasn't trying to, outscore you. They know once they get you to a point, they could be able to take care of you, run the ball and eat up the clock. And the Saints fed right into it. So I mean, this is really an insulting football, but the thought process, you lose 6 games. This should be a cutoff point right here. I mean, we don't go through 6-game losers. Okay, 1, you got 2, 3, 4, 5. Now you're on a 6-game slide. Your team is sitting up here. What is the Saints sitting up here at now? They're sitting up here at 2-6. The Saints are 2-6 and they're 1-3 away. They're 2-6 right now. The Falcons won right now, and it's crazy because you look at the Saints are only 1 game. I want to say they're 1 game better than the Carolina Panthers. I want because the Panthers won. No disrespect to the Panthers are 1-7. The Saints 2-6. They're 1 game better.
Yeah,
They won. The Panthers are 1-7. We play them next week. The Panthers are 1-7. The Saints are 2-6 on a 2-game losing streak. Unreal, unbelievable. Thank you, KB. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Get fucked too kind.
Crazy, man. Crazy, underhanded. But yeah, go ahead, Pops. Kind of talk to us about the philosophy going forward. Does Mickey, and I know the answer, but let me hear what you think. What you think about Mickey Loomis and his decision making right now? What should he do, or what do you think he's going to do?
He's not going to do anything. Only thing that he's going to do is sit back and draw his paycheck. And he's keeping Miss Gale out of the loop. And Miss Gale need to look into what's going on with this team. The Saints was her husband, Tom Benson's.
Hold on just a second, Pops.
Okay.
Here you go.
All right.
Their guy, made the play. We weren't able to make it. Offensively, we just really couldn't get, anything going offensively. And then when we did, we had too many penalties, which put us in the long distance situations that we just couldn't overcome. So, we'll go back, get to work, hopefully get a couple more guys back, and hopefully start playing some better football.
Dennis, y'all were saying that you felt like the return of a lot of these injured starters would kind of provide a spark for the team. But why do you think, even though they came back, the offense wasn't able to?
Yeah, look, it's hard to say. I mean, I think we got to go back and evaluate exactly, what was going on there. But obviously, we really couldn't get, much going offensively. And then we made some big plays. We made some explosive plays, and then we followed it up with, penalties, which put us into long distance situations. And, right now we're not overcoming those. And so we've got to play a cleaner game to give ourselves a chance. Penalties I thought hurt us.
What made you decide to switch quarterbacks?
I just felt like we needed to do something to try to get something going offensively. We weren't able to move the football, and I felt like we needed to do something to try to create some sort of spark.
What did you think Spencer Rattler was having trouble doing today?
Yeah, I think there was a couple of reads that probably could have been better on. And look, we certainly didn't help him with a couple of drops and things of that nature. I think just the margin for error right now is small, and so when we have opportunities to make plays, I think we have to be able to make the plays.
Rattler didn't have many passes beyond 10 yards. So y'all go in.
We had a couple that were dialed up to try to get the ball down the field, and for whatever reason, whether it was the pressure, or the coverage took it away, and we had to go and put the ball underneath.
Did y'all go into that with a more conservative game plan in terms of
throwing
downfield?
No, I think we had some shot plays up there that we just didn't, for multiple reasons, whether it was pressure or covered, where we had to get the ball down rather than get the ball down the field.
Is it fair to say the offensive penalties have been like an ongoing issue?
Well, it's certainly something that we still need to work to clean up. I don't know that I'm saying that that's an ongoing issue. I mean, obviously, anytime you have them, it's a problem, and so we've got to work to get those cleaned up.
Was the hamstring injury for Kendra Miller the same one that sideline? Was it the same hamstring?
No, I think it's a different hamstring. I think it's opposite side.
Same with Marshawn, or how about Marshawn?
I think it's the same one that was, kind of pulled him out of the game last week.
So aggravated.
Yeah.
2 more hamstring injuries. Is that just maddening? That's the continued theme.
Yeah. It's unfortunate, for those two players, because they kind of had a little bit of that in their history. And so we've got to, try to figure out how we can eliminate that.
Yeah, what's kind of the message at this point? Six losses in a row now.
Yeah, the message is it's the people in the room in there that are going to have to change it. Nobody's coming from outside the building. It's going to have to be the guys that are in that locker room, coaches, to fix it. That's what it is, and we have to pay better attention to all the details, and we have to do a better job of coaching all the details, because details matter in our league, and we don't get to pick and choose which ones do and which ones don't.
Is there a chance Derek plays next week? Is that
I think there's a possibility. Yeah. Yeah, look, I thought he did some good things, created a few plays, took us down and gave us an opportunity to score, some points. But ultimately we got to play better as a group.
It's very easy to look at this and assume that the quarterback makes all the difference. What's bothering you most about the offense outside of just the quarterback?
Well, I just think the fundamentals of getting in and out of the huddle, get lined up, let's get a ball play called, let's get moving here. I just thought it was sloppy today, and so I think we got to work hard to clean those things up, and then I think we got to be able to rely on our better players to make some plays for us, and so I think that's that's where we've got to improve. Obviously, we got two young quarterbacks, both of which I like a lot, but both are young quarterbacks, and so you got to deal with some of the challenges that go along with that.
And it's frustrating, just the explosives defensively, especially on a day like today when you kind of clean some of this stuff up.
Yeah, look, we did a good job on a lot of things. The one play there in the fourth quarter down our left sideline or their right sideline, I think that's a young player not fully understanding how that coverage is being played. The one on Alante, I thought he was in great position, and I really thought when the ball went up, I thought that was going to be an interception. They made the play, we didn't. So some of those like that, is part of playing the game of football. We gotta limit the ones that we can control a little bit.
Can you say what happened with Bub Means? It's too late in the game for us to get an update on that.
So it was an ankle there at the end of the game. I'm not sure, the extent of the ankle injury.
I believe it was Rattlers last series of the game. You guys had gone backwards because of a penalty. I think it was 2nd and 16, 3rd and 16, and probably 7-8 yards when we got you in field goal range. Was there anything with the decision making on those plays or anything?
I'd have to probably go back and look at it. I don't specifically recall. I think when you're in that situation, you're trying to get yourself into, field goal range. I think that's the number one thing when you're in a longer distance situation. First thing you're trying to do is get yourself into field goal range. And so the exact play, I don't exactly recall.
The Saints haven't lost 6 straight since 2005. And obviously, that resulted in a lot of major changes after the season. Like you said last week, you don't worry about that stuff. But do you feel like when you're kind of in the midst of this losing streak that you have to have conversations with Mickey or the front office?
Yeah, look, we have conversations every day. You know what I mean? And so I don't feel any more sense of having to have these conversations. Look. And we need to play better football. I think we all understand that. All right, thanks.
Go on, you take care of the cake. You possum puss, get that punch out there or you'll get one from me. Go on.
The problem is you trying to talk with your shit and you don't know nothing instead of listening. Huh?
I'm listening.
Okay? No. I get $40,000, nigga, and I dare motherfucker to...
Say it one more time.
Assessing, in your own opinion, the day you thought you had to.
I think we were moving the ball at a good rate in that first half, and even a little bit in that second half. We'll go forward, then backward, forward, then backward. So, we all shot ourselves in the foot a little bit, just with little things. And we just didn't make enough plays to win the game.
You think, frustrating? Was it fair to make the change in quarterback? What was your opinion on that?
Look, I control the controllables, I'm a team guy. I'm going to want us to win either way. So, it is what it is.
Spencer, just was there the expectation for you all to get back on track, just considering who you were getting back today, and with all those guys out still not having production?
Yeah, it's not a given that you're going to go out there and shred it all over the field and win the game. It's not a given. We got to go out there and earn it. So it starts with me. It starts with our QB room, and we got to set a better standard to go out there and play at a higher level, and just collectively as a group got to be better.
I know it felt like you were in third and long, third and 14, third and 15 much of the day, but I guess maybe the plays leading up to that, is there anything, when you look back that you wish you'd done differently?
Try to run around and make more stuff happen. I think it's a good defense. They took away that top part of the field. It's a good sound defense with good players, and good at tackling. Made some plays here and there, in the half, got some points, which was good. Wanted to come out and do the same, but we didn't, and just got to be better.
They were then trying to take away some of the vertical stuff in this game.
Yeah. They try to take away that deep part of the field, and it's that's their go-to, and they want make you play dink and dunk ball and drive it down the field, and we did a few times, but we protected the ball. We had no turnovers, but we just gotta just make more plays and convert and not shoot ourselves in the foot.
Derek obviously could be back soon. What's your assessment of what you're able to do with this opportunity? Obviously, the circumstances aren't ideal, but when you add the 3 weeks together.
Yeah, obviously, we didn't get any wins, so that's very unfortunate. We want to win. Our goal is to come in here and win to get some momentum going into another divisional game next week. But just control the controllables. All of us. So got to get back to work and figure it out.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
She might call me Santa friend, but I'm the cleanup man.
He'll sweep the girlfriend off her feet. The reason I know so much about him is because he's moved up an old girl of mine.
Swept her right off her feet and into the jag.
Oh yeah, they got a lot of. Hey, Pop, they got a lot to clean up, man.
Those two guys, that first guy, the raccoon or whatever you call it,
Now go on, you take care of the cake. You possum puss, get that punch out there or you'll get one from me. Go on.
It's a sad day. I'll tell you what, I just don't like the fact that these people stay up here and every loss we had.
Get a little close to your screen, Pops. I can't hear you that way.
Look, every loss we had so far, all 6 of them, he says the same thing. What they got to clean up, and nothing's happening. The man did. I don't know. He's just not the coach to motivate this team to help them to win. I don't see it in his face. You don't have any motivation. You don't have the fire in his belly like Sean Payton had. Sean Payton got up out of here. I don't know why he did it, but he decided to go play somewhere else. But this guy who took his place, we really, Miss Gail should have had that other had that man to search around and find a coach, because this guy is not it. He's just not it. He's standing there looking like a raccoon, trying to explain stuff that explain how the football team is losing, but he has no answers to correct. We got to do better. We got to do better. What is the deal? What are you doing? How you trying to make them get better? Are you motivating the players? No, obviously what he's saying to them is not working. And I'm probably, like I said, I feel the guys probably, really would wish, it can't do us any harm to start fresh. Don't be surprised we even lose to Carolina. I wouldn't be surprised we lose to Carolina, because the team have quit on him. Seems like to me they trying hard enough, but they're not executing the plays with precision and snap. They kind of go through their motions. They got a few of them trying to do it, but for the most part, where it comes down, they're not executing as really quick. You get a snap and you drag around trying to find somebody. Next thing you know, the defensive player grabs the quarterback, or somebody starts holding. They get good plays going. There's no discipline, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's interesting, Pops, how this all turning out, man. And it's not a good thing, to be quite honest with you, what we're seeing. But anyway, let's hear from another coach, Pops. Another coach won't step up and talk about what's going on with the Saints. Here we go.
Well, what happened was that second game, we got our ass kicked. The second half, we just got our ass totally kicked. We couldn't do diddly poo offensively. We couldn't make a first down. We couldn't run the ball. We didn't try to run the ball. We couldn't complete a pass. We sucked. The second half, we sucked. We couldn't stop the run. Every time they got the ball, they went down and got points. We got our ass totally kicked in the second half. That's what it boiled down to. It was a horse performance in the second half. Horse. I'm totally embarrassed and totally ashamed. Coaching, our coaching did a horrible job. The players did a horrible job. We got our ass kicked in that second half. It sucked. It stunk.
All right. Thank you, Coach. Appreciate that analogy. Thank you.
You spot on.
It's Pops like he never left.
No.
It's like he never left, man.
Yep.
It's like he never left, man. Shout out to Jim Moore for keeping it real. Because we know that old possum ain't doing it. That's for damn sure.
No, he's not doing anything. It's really sad that Mickey Loomis is not addressing this quarterback situation. If he continues, he's gonna have a half-empty dome after a while. Miss Gail ain't gonna put up with that crap. She ain't gonna like this. She's gonna know what's going on.
Yeah, that's what we kind of counting on, Pops, to be honest with you. Michael says, what will it take for DA to get fired, Big Q? Thank you, Michael.
Thank you. Get fucked too kind.
Well, listen, bro, and thank you for the super chat, man. Shout out to all y'all with the super chat and cash apps. It's going to take the family members, because if you're a competent general manager, and Pops, we talk about Mickey Loomis all the time, is that right. Mickey Loomis is he got too much power in the organization. The people above him don't know anything about football on the field. If I thought that they should be more of a committee approach with Mickey Loomis, like you taking his, that position away from him, allowing him to be the VP and giving somebody else the general manager job. It's going to take people not turning out to the games. It's going to take economic boycott to the New Orleans Saints organization. And while we're economically boycotting them, we're notifying the Saints why we're economically boycotting them and giving them a list of demands. Like, we're not going to support you unless, and this is how we're supposed to do it, period, as a collective. That's where all your power is, when you operate collectively as a group. That's why it's so much stuff to disenfranchise people, to have them going over here, going over there, to keep you separated and divided, because that's how these bastards control. But at the end of the day, we have to stay on code. We can't support the Saints organization. I've been saying this for weeks now. I've been saying it for a while. This is outright disrespect. We known, and even a reporter, Cat Terrell, asked me, said, you thought that getting your players back would be in? I was like, man, listen, you can't count on that, because these guys are still banged up. even though they list Taysom Hill as fully practiced, Taysom Hill's still dealing with broken ribs, and Elvin Kamara's dealing with broken ribs. These guys are banged up. So they have to be a point of emphasis for the Saints to be able to get other guys involved. And if you have guys that not run blocking, if you don't run block, you're not going to win.
No.
So so we weren't able to do that in these other matchups. The Saints offense is so up and down and so out of balance in this matchup. We couldn't even use the 100 yards that we gained in any positive fashion to give us anything that we could be proud of and utilize to even get a touchdown this game. It was awful. But it takes economic boycott to the Saints. People not going down there to the building. People not buying the merchandise at their store. People not, anything. You not going down there. There's no concession money. A bunch of no trips mean a lot of money not being spent. If you don't go down there, that's not tickets. You don't go down there, that's not merch. You don't go down there, that's not concessions. You don't go down there, it's not parking revenue. That's 4 things that they count on that one person, if you don't go down there, is taken away. So we understand that, but doing this while we're saying we're dissatisfied with this and we're not taking this no more. So, I mean, that's my take on it. And enough people got to do it. Not everybody going to do it because you're still going to have people that's going to be off code. It's just what it is. But if enough of us do it, we should make an impact. We should have an impact on changing the dynamic and at least forcing the people at the top that worship the money, like Gail and Dennis Lauscher, who's nothing but a glorified treasurer, to be able to pay attention to the bottom line. And the bottom line is if it's a lack in money, that means that they'll do whatever it takes to rectify the situation, even fire Dennis Allen, because nobody to them is more important than the money. They're not going to try to save face with that. They all about the money. So that's my measurement. Right. Don't go down there. Pops, what you think? What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I feel the same way. I mean, obviously nothing's being done. I mean, I see this guy stand up here at the podium every week for the past 6 weeks, and even though the team is in a spiral, going down, getting their butts kicked. I mean, Tampa waxed their butts, waxed their ass. Tampa waxed them, and he's standing on the sideline with his arms folded. He don't know what to do. If you got a coach that doesn't know what to do for the pick his team up, he shouldn't be coaching. He should not be coaching that team. And Dennis Allen seems to have lost his ability to coach the team. It's just obvious. I've been watching this. I've been watching these games now for quite a few years, and since Dennis Allen been the head coach, and he's losing. I mean, he's losing these games, and then this 6-game losing streak. Well, we got to do better. We just got to do better. What are they paying him for? What are they paying him for? And the team is going through that exercise. You need to call the guys together and find out what can we do better. I don't know, unless they just don't respect what he say, or they don't. I see half tackles. I see guys making elementary school mistakes. Holding a lot of stuff that they should have cleaned up in the preseason. They only have one. You got to clean that kind of stuff up. You got a couple of good drives going in this game. Holding. Guy got called for holding. That's a 10-yard penalty. So you instead of 1st and 5 or 1st and 10, you got what, 2nd and 15. Mm-hmm. It just doesn't make sense. These kind of penalties will hurt your offense. They'll cause problems for you. This is what's going on with this team. And there was a lot. 61 yards, I think I heard you say, was the total yardage that they had charged to them for penalties. This feels we had cut that one time in half. You know what I'm saying? Just cut half of that. Half of them penalties. I think we might have had a better chance of winning the game. And they wasn't hitting the holes like you figure they would. They run Alvin Kamara. They only running him. They run him into the ground. You got to have somebody else to pick up the load for him until he give him a chance to catch his breath. You know what I'm saying? But it's just. He just run the Kamara, and people are figuring their offensive schemes out. That's what I'm saying. If all the teams in the league teams that you're playing against start figuring out your offensive scheme, they'll beat you every time because they know what you're gonna do. I get so frustrated watching them run, pass, and they only pass when they have to pass. So you have to mix the things up. They're not mixing them up very well to fool these teams.
Yeah, it's a lot going on here, Pops, because they can't score offensively. They're not even competitive. And we can't use the time to say that they tired and all this stuff. These people had an extended week and they actually look worse than what they looked in the Denver game, which is even hard to even fathom. But that was what was the case. I just don't understand, what's going on. And it's definitely time for them to change and move beyond this current coach. I mean, the guy doesn't have any answers. You see the answers the reporters was asking. He didn't have any answers at all, man.
No
Dude,
answers at all. None.
yeah, I have no answers. King Morrison says Dan Campbell got Detroit going crazy, and we stuck with Dennis Allen. Well, you got to look at Mickey Loomis on that one, my brother. Thank you for
Thank you. Get fucked too kind.
Indeed, man. It's one of the situations that we are involved in. I mean, the whole thing is like at some point, at some point, you have to, like he says, you got to look beyond the results. You can't talk or have a logical conversation with somebody that's telling people they got to look beyond the results, that they can't, that they should look at what's actually going on with the team. This dude told people, and Bobby Hebert sitting up there interviewing them a couple of weeks ago, telling them, hey, man, we got this going on, that going on, this going. His answer was, you got to look beyond the results. I understand what you're saying. You got to look beyond. What are you talking about? And the problem is he doesn't have any oversight. And that's the problem with the Saints organization. And I'm glad it's happening because this is the problem. Sean Payton kept this together for years because he was able to win enough games to keep the pressure off of these guys. Right. He was able to win enough games. With him out of the fold, it is now being exposed. And it's very obvious that Sean Payton made all of them look a lot better than what they actually were. And I said that about Carmichael. I said that about Mickey Loomis. Mickey Loomis is a glorified gopher. He did everything Payton told him to do. Yeah. That's the truth. Because if he was as good as he think he is, then we would be seeing better success. You would have more of a competent coach over the team. He would have definitely have checked Dennis Allen's resume better to understand that this guy doesn't have the intangibles to be the type of coach that you would want your team to be. He's a beta male coach. That's not a motivator. He's up and down. He's inconsistent. And his team is following his lead. So it should be no point of any of this season should we be sitting up looking at a 6-game losing streak and you allowing him to still sit up and be a coach, and then you won't eventually remove him until the Saints are out of contention. That's when they'll fire him. That's the issue I have. Like, it is not a question of whether or not he should be fired. Yes, he should be fired. The issue is, when will Mickey Loomis fire him? Well, he'll more than likely play the Carolina and beat the issue. He should be fired right now, actually, and turn the team over to somebody else, because he should be fired after this game. You shouldn't be able to keep on as a head coach and you lose 6 games in a row. And you're trying to talk about being in the playoffs. If you want to save the season, you got to fire this guy and at least try to find somebody on the interim level that can be able to help galvanize the team so that they can get out of the hole that Dennis Allen and put him in. So this is what it is. And this we supported Dennis Allen. We supported this team for the good and bad, but it gets to a point in the line where it's disrespect. This is disrespectful, man. And this is not what it's supposed to be. And these people don't care about nothing but the money. If they really wanted to win, they wouldn't be sitting up here allowing 6-game losing streaks to happen. They would fire coaches when they do that. Dennis Allen just told the people that he's not worried about. They're not focusing on that. We talk to them all the time. So Mickey Loomis is talking to him all the time. What is he telling them? We're going to stick with you, Dennis, because he's a hard-headed old bastard that don't want to admit that he made a bad hire? You made a bad hire. Fire this guy so we can try to salvage what's left of the season so we don't go into a 4th year of not making the playoffs. Fire this guy so we can move forward. Put somebody over the team so we can salvage the season. The Saints are 2-6 on a 6-game losing streak. They play Carolina next week. Carolina is 1 game better than the Saints. Carolina is 1-7. The Saints is 2-6. That's the reality of it. They 1 game better than Carolina. So you got all your starters back and did worse offensively than what you did against Denver. So, I mean, there ain't no place for go with all of these, the people that love Dennis Allen. There's no place for go. That's not what it's hitting for. All right. Southern Bad Boy 208 says, hire Bill Belichick, fire Dennis Allen, boycott the Saints for success movement. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Get fucked too kind.
I don't think that's going to happen because Bill Belichick he want to be the general manager, and Mickey Loomis is trying to keep that position away from people. He's already told y'all he subbed out the general manager position to 3 different former general managers that's currently on the team. He got Randy Mueller on the team. He got that dude that was the general manager with the Raiders. I guess you can count your boy, what's his name? Jeff Ireland is a former general manager, and a lot of these duties that he has as the general manager, he's allotted these duties between, 2 of those, the guy from the Raiders and our former general manager prior to Mickey Loomis and Kai Harley. What is he's basically subcontracted the general manager duties between those gentlemen so he can hold power there. You have to break the power stronghold and reformat. I'd have said this dozens of times, reformat the Saints leadership at the top. I told y'all that. I would start, like I said, with Gail, I would start with taking Dennis Lauscher. I'm going to say it again. I would take Dennis Lauscher, who's just nothing but a treasurer, an accountant, a glorified accountant. I would take him and remove him from the president position and create another president, another position rather, that is indicative of the title that he actually does. Like I would take him and create a assistant CFO position, which the chief's financial officer is Gail. That's our title, governor and CFO. He will be the assistant CFO, which would lend itself toward that business aspect. The president's position that he owns now would be taken away from him, and I would hire a general manager with football experience that went through the executive position, the executive NFL program, and make that person the president of the team. I would then you can leave Mickey Loomis as his vice president, but that new president would be Mickey's boss. I would then take the general manager position away from Loomis and give it to Kai Harley. That way, you just created 3 motions that brought more brains into your organization, made more of it a situation where it's more of a council as opposed to this idiot sitting up here damming up everything, preventing people from advancing in the organization because he wants to occupy 2 chairs. That's what I just did. I just modernized the organization and took power away from him because he's not strong enough and smart enough to operate that position like that. That's why the team is looking like this. And besides, it takes a lot of the cap management completely out of his hands because he done screwed up the Saints for the next 2 to 3 years with cap issues. You're going to be suffering like this. And we'll have to build through draft picks and undrafted market to keep your team competitive because Mickey Loomis done screwed the cap up so badly. You ain't going to be able to see nothing. You can't get rid of Derek Carr for 2+ years because there's $60 and $50 million dead cap hits over the next 2 years on his contract if you're talking about releasing him. They're not going to take a $50+ or $60 million cap hit to get Derek Carr out of here.
No.
So, you know what I'm saying? And that was done because they reorganized or refinanced his contract this year to open up more money into the future. And that's why you trapped with the 2-year window with him. Now you locked in with players over the next 2 years. And if you don't move soon, then you would destroy the 2-year window because then you'd be forced. It's just a lot of stuff. I don't want to keep going through it over and over again. But the Bill Belichick thing wouldn't work because Bill Belichick wants power. He wants to be able to have the general manager position to be able to bring in the type of talent that he wants. And Mickey Loomis is sitting up there hogging that up. He won't give him that. He didn't even give Sean Payton that. They keep Payton. Think about that. With Payton, one thing Payton wanted that he has with Denver in part is the ability to have power over the personnel decisions. He wouldn't even get at to Sean Payton. That was his job. And he that's what's going on. And that needs to stop, man. That needs to stop right now. Taylor says, a successful organization cares about the people, which fires up the team and gives them a conscience to play better, to protect their reputation. Thank you, Brother Taylor. Good thought.
Thank you. Get fucked too kind.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate that, man. And you're absolutely right. But this organization has gotten to the fact that to the point, Pops, where they are a big, fat, lazy, degenerate team that only care about money.
Yeah.
And the point is not winning or playoffs or winning Super Bowls. They don't even talk about that. When the last time you heard the Saints organization say in the near future they want to win a Super Bowl? When the last time you heard Dennis Allen talk about winning a Super Bowl? Did he ever say we're going to win a Super Bowl? He never said nothing about that. They said playoffs. There's a difference between playoffs and Super Bowls. These people don't even say it out of their mouths. They don't even say it out of their mouths, which means it's all about collecting cash. They're not trying to compete for that position. They're just trying to get to the playoffs to justify keeping him here so that they can keep the shit going over and over again. Enough of that. That's over with.
Yeah.
This all
And,
needs to
you know,
change. Go ahead, Pops. Let me hear from you on that. What you think?
Yeah, well, I agree. That this has been going on ever since Dennis Allen been the coach. Really, that when Peyton left, I suspect that it's not going to change until they at least start by moving him. Then searching for an offensive-minded coach, somebody who can execute what these players can do, how they can handle what they do best, and then also with the defense. The defense didn't play that bad. The problem with the defense was that it just was on the field too much. Just similar to what happened to LSU. Saturday, the players just, after a while they get tired. 3 and outs. The Saints' first 4 plays were punts. First 4 times they got the ball, they punted. If I can remember that right. First 4 plays that they made, when they were 3 and out. That wears a defense down. And the other team coming back and hitting you with runs and hitting you with passes, and these guys they're human like us, and they eventually will get tired. Yep.
Yeah, it's time, man. A lot of people's feeling the sentiment. They wasn't saying it before though, Pops. I mean, well, a lot of people were saying it, but it's like you can see where it goes. And some people have more faith in the team. And credit to them for having faith in the team, but don't let them use that as a weapon. Don't let them weaponize your faith against you, because that's such a thing. Because people will take your trust and weaponize it against you. They'll take your faith and weaponize it against you. Hell, they'll take your children and try to weaponize them against you.
That's
So
right.
I mean, you can't. That's why I was talking about the protection of your heart. They do that against you. Anything that they can take and use to turn against you, they're gonna use, and that's the problem. That faith without works is dead. And for people
Right.
that's given the saints faith and belief without them giving you works back, you're setting yourself up for a nasty experience. You're setting yourself up for a tremendous downfall and a violation. You
Yeah.
don't do that. We don't behave like that. They have
Right.
to present something. They got to bring something tangible to the table. They got to bring something real to the table. They got to show you that they're about the business of winning. And if they show you that, don't give it to them right away either. You make them earn it. Even if they show you they're doing it, let them show it to you over almost a full season before you give your support to them. Because remember, don't give your support that fast back to these people. It took them 3 years, and they had a team that was ready to they say one game off from when Sean Payton distracted ass left them in the last year. Just one more game gets them in the playoff. He turned the team. It was a talented team. When he took over the team, they went backwards and they went 9-7, no playoffs. And now you're on the 6-game losing streak. And this is Dennis Allen's team. This team is more Pops. This team is more Dennis Allen team than is in any of these teams. These coaches are his coaches. These players is his player. He went and got his quarterback. He went and got all of these people that most of these guys is some of these guys from the Raiders organization. A lot of these guys, these are his coaches, his people.
Right.
We talking about all these guys, even the offensive coaches. He flipped over 95% of the offensive room and made those was his coach's decision, and we still sitting up here 2-6. Ain't nowhere to go but to get this man up out of here, man. You fired, you got Carmichael out, and now it's time for him to go. We tried it. We gave you a shot. Now he has to go so we can turn this around as fast as we can, so we can still try to see if we can get into the playoffs.
That's right. And we're spinning our wheels and get nothing done. Look like the players don't have confidence in the game.
No,
some of them have some confidence, like
not enough though.
Not enough, right? Taysom,
Right.
Kamara, but those guys they got enough. But if the other fellows don't, the rest of the team don't have the faith in what Dennis Allen is wanting to do, they can't, they won't perform like he wants them to do. If they don't have any respect for him, I sense there's some lack of respect for whatever he decides to do, because he's so predictable. It's easy to predict what the Saints offensive plays are and what their defensive plays. It's so easy to do that. And the defense is reactive.
Yep.
They're not too bad, but they're reactive. And then some of the younger guys, they need to know how to make certain plays. Are they being taught? It don't seem like. And you got rookies, you got young rookies, and a couple of rookies in the backfield. They didn't play that bad. One of the last pass, the last touchdown, was just an outstanding thrown ball. It wasn't not too much. Kool-Aid McKenzie, I think, was the player. I don't think there was too much he can do. That ball was placed spot on. That's what caused it to be a touchdown. But I agree with you, son. I would like to see them make a mid-season move. Don't wait until 2 or 3 weeks down the road after Atlanta beats the star out of us, and we might even lose. Hell, I ain't putting no faith in them beating Carolina. I'm not. These people are losing games that they shouldn't be losing.
Yeah.
That's just the way it seems to me. I'm just one person, but that's the way it seems to me. I've been watching them for years.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past them either, Pops. I mean, the only team that they probably will win out of the next 3 games would probably be Carolina, because you got Atlanta. Atlanta leading the NFC South right now. They beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They go up 5. I think they're 5-3 right now.
Mm-hmm.
So they lead. They take possession of the NFC South at middle of the year. The Saints have 3 games before the bye. Carolina. In Carolina, and then they must then come home for matchups against the Falcons and then Cleveland. And Jameis looks good. Jameis had a pretty good performance against Cleveland with Deshaun Watson out there, so he's going to be motivated to beat the Saints when he gets here. So if you're a New Orleans Saint, and like I said, I predict this, Pops. I would be surprised if Mickey Loomis came to his senses and fired Dennis Allen, because he knows that the Saints are going to be able to beat Carolina, and that'll be able to extend his tenure. But then, more than likely, if Atlanta sweeps you, that probably around there he'll fire him. But there's no way that he should be fired right now. Like after this game, he should be out of here. He's saying, according to what the press conference says, he talks to Mickey Loomis. They talk all the time. And I'm pretty sure Mickey Loomis is assuring him that he'll be here. We've had people like, some of the insider reporters saying that they've been around the people they feel pretty comfortable. If they feeling like that about him, and I know Mickey Loomis is stubborn and a dumbass, what end up happening is they'll try to play games with you. That's why I said that you got to show these people who the boss is. Mickey Loomis don't pay for them tickets in there. You do. You don't pay for that merchandise. They get that shit for free. None of them guys walking around there with them hats on paid nothing for them hats. You pay for all that. They don't pay for none of that. They don't pay for the hats. They don't pay for none of that up in there. You do. He can't pay for them tickets. He can't pay for that merch. He can't pay for that parking. He can't do it. He's just an employee.
Yep.
So what you got to do is show them him, because I'm talking about him. Show him your power, which will ultimately show her and Lausha when that money start falling out. Then they'll be forced to make a move because they worship the money more than winning. That's the truth. That's the God honest truth. That's why they got an old, antiquated team at the top with Mickey Loomis, who 20 years shouldn't even be a general manager at this point. Shouldn't be a one, because he's out of touch with what's going on in today's NFL, trying to hold power. That shouldn't even be a thing.
Right.
That shouldn't be his sit up here trying to tell these people that, Pops.
Yep.
But this is the point. This is the thing. So I don't think he gets. I'll be surprised if he gets rid of him this week. It probably will be after you lose to Atlanta. That's when people will be in an uproar and want him out of here, because they'll sneak around and beat Carolina barely, and then turn around and lose to Atlanta, and then people, they get swept by Atlanta. Then they're gonna want to put his ass in the street, because people at that point would be so upset and mad about that game that you got swept by Atlanta would be the tipping point for them to put him in the street. By that time frame, the Saints could potentially be 3-7.
Yeah.
So you would have to basically win. You got 6 games after that? After you come out the bye week against the Rams, the Packers, you still got Tampa Bay at the end of the year. You got a few other teams in there. You got 6 games, I want to say, coming out of that thing. And you're going to be 1-2, because you got Cleveland too. But at that point, you'll be 1-7. I mean, 3-7. 3-7 in 2 weeks.
basically your season is over with at that point. You know,
It's right. So that's what I'm saying. That's the point is move on it. But if, like I said, man, it's not just that, but something has to be done about Mickey Loomis. Seriously.
right?
And that's the
Mhm.
point. Because it ain't no guarantee that even if Mickey Loomis fires Dennis Allen is here because of Mickey Loomis. He's the problem. Dennis Allen didn't tear up the cap. Mickey Loomis did.
Yeah, he
Dennis
is.
Allen didn't hire himself. Mickey hired him. The problem is Mickey Loomis. So even if he finally fires Dennis Allen, do you have faith, Pops, that he'll hire a competent coach to replace him?
Yeah, that's another thing. I don't think he does. I don't think he does. So what we basically stuck.
I've been trying to tell the people, I was like, man, it's the figurehead effect. Like we have focused on who the figurehead is. The figurehead ain't running nothing. The figurehead is designed to take the aggression of the people. That's what it
Right.
is. That's how it is. We got the figurehead syndrome bad. It's never the figurehead. It's the dude that put the figurehead there. And you aim your aggression at that bastard, then you're doing something. And that dude is Mickey Loomis. We need to remove Mickey Loomis off the general manager position and give it to somebody else. That has to be one of the demands that we make to the New Orleans Saints organization. Not just firing Dennis Allen, but forcing Mickey Loomis off the general manager position. Forcing the reorganization of the team at the top to be more modernized, to have more of a committee approach of decision makers when it comes down to the business of football on the field. More of a committee approach and not dammed up and jammed up with this dinosaur guy at the top of the team.
Yeah.
So that's my thoughts. What's your thoughts? Hold on just a second. M. Dot says, Q, we're not doing Stockholm Syndrome. All right. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Fuck too kind.
Thank you. All right. Appreciate you, M. Dot. Pops, final thoughts before we leave.
Well, it's not, you see, it's not going to change. I mean, we have Carolina coming up. If we lose to Carolina, everybody should just don't go to the game. Because, Carolina is absolutely at the bottom. I don't put nothing past them. Whether or not if they lose to Carolina, Mickey Loomis need to go and Dennis Allen need to go. They have to get rid of them, both of them. I mean,
I'm with you.
That would have to come from Miss Gale. She had to tell somebody, get these guys out of here. Come on, I can't let my fans down. My team is struggling, and then they're losing to sorry teams. Atlanta went out there and got a quarterback, and they went to go. Kirk Cousins was out there for a long time, son. And look what he's doing for Atlanta. That man been a winner everywhere he went.
Yeah.
And I'm looking, like I said, in my opinion, I think both him and Dennis Allen need to go. Because Dennis Allen he has the same, we got to do this. I hear that every time they have when they have the press conference. That's all he says. Well, what do you mean you ain't? What are you gonna do? You're not doing what you say you're gonna do. Because every time you look around, every game is the same result. And they just constant mistakes. There's no discipline. If he can't bring no discipline to the team, he need to be gone. Because they're not executing because they don't believe in his philosophy.
Yeah, you're right, Pops. I mean, man, listen, man, you're absolutely right. It's going to take something, man. I assure you. It's the last thing before we go. This is the hierarchy of the Saints organization. You're absolutely right. Soul, vision, history. The proper term, I guess, to do it would be assistant chief financial officer. I guess that with the chief executive officer.
Yeah, CEO.
Yeah, it's assistant chief executive officer, or a title befitting of that, because it's the hierarchy according to the Saints website. Gail is the owner and chief executive officer. Well, Lauscher would be like a assistant to the chief. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And because Tom Benson, they got him as the owner and chairman. Of course, he's transitioned. We know that. And then you see the top the executives is Dennis Lauscher, the right hand to the throne. Then is Mickey, and then these other guys that just these are not football guys. These are businessmen. These are businessmen. All these other guys up here. You're right. Ed Lang is the senior vice president, chief financial officer. I'm thinking Lauscher would be like, I'm saying you take Lauscher, remove him from this president title. This is the president of football operations, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or create, because this is the thing. He doesn't know anything about football. He's a treasurer. And I'm not being disrespectful. It's in his damn bio That's how he got the job. He's basic. Look, he first joined the Saints 98 as a treasurer.
Right.
He was a businessman. This guy is business. He oversees club financial operations, government affairs, marketing, ticket and suite league sales, legal, stadium, community affairs, human resources, business intelligence, and information technology. None of that shit says anything about football on the field.
That's right.
None of that's football on the field. It's in his bio. He's a glorified treasurer. He doesn't need to be the president of football operations. Rebrand him, like I was saying. Give him a title befitting of what he does. You know, we need a football president at the top of the team, a guy that knows about football on the field. This is a business guy, a treasurer. He needs to be like, he got chief financial officer. I would make him like the assistant chief financial officer, assistant to her. He still got power and he's along with her, but he's removed from the duties of football on the field because the next dude is this character. And this character, as you can see, is the VP of football operations, and he's the general manager. He got 2 jobs, man.
He don't need 2 jobs.
You don't need
the one he got.
He can't do 2 jobs. He sourced out the general manager job to hold power. He suffocates anybody trying to get close to that VP job. You had guys like Fontenot, you had guys like Kai Hartley. These are young guys that know that came up through the ranks that are good enough to be general managers at somebody's football team. This dude been here for 20 something odd years, sitting up here hogging up 2 jobs. He don't need 2 jobs. And he tore up the cap. And there's nobody challenging his power. They're letting them reign free because this dude here don't know nothing about football. That's why he defers to Mickey Loomis. And none of these other guys up here are football guys. This guy by himself, that's a problem. They showing you from a business standpoint that this goddamn team is all about money. Where's the football brains outside of Mickey? So you got Gail, who's an ambassador. You got Tom, he's gone. Dennis Lausch is a businessman. Mickey knows about football. He got 2 jobs. And these dudes right here are all businessmen. Where any of these dudes, these top guys don't know nothing about football. Why is Mickey the only one of these 6 guys that's up here that know about football?
A football experience.
Right.
Yep.
All these other guys don't know nothing. They're a business. They're set up to show you that they're all about the money. Because if this dude had any sense, he would take that job away from Mickey Loomis and give it to somebody else. None of these other people up here know nothing about no football, man. None of them do. Then you go down, it goes down, it goes down. Then you get here, and then Kai's here. Then it gets into the rest of their guys after you get through all of the money guys. The money running the team. Without any money, that there's no football on the field. But Mickey Loomis doesn't need to have 2 jobs. You need to take this job away from him and give it to Kai Hartley. Get that job to Kai. Let him be the general manager of the team. He's younger, more equipped to deal with today's NFL. Get that man the general manager job. Replace and take away Dennis Lausch's president's job and create a position next to Gail where he's like the chief, the chief executive officer assistant or something like that. That's right, where he don't have nothing to do with football on the field, and get a president's job to a guy with executive experience who went through the NFL executive program like a John Lynch type. A John Lynch type is who I'm trying to tell you should be the president of a team like this. Not John himself, but a guy like that was a good football player on the field and went through the NFL executive program. And that's what John Lynch did. And they have those guys that's out there that can do that. All this needs to be reformatted. All of it, because this is funky. All these guys sit up here making tens of billions. It's like 300 something odd people, 400 people work for the Saints. You go look at all these people, man. You scroll it, man. These tons of people work for the Saints. We talk about going all the way down to the equipment manager and marketers and social media people calling you. Go and look at all the lists of these people. There's hundreds of people that work for the Saints. A couple hundred people work for the team. But at the top of the day, man, this dude is the main problem. This is the main culprit right here. This is the one responsible for your effed up cap and your tore up ass situation and Dennis Allen still being here. It's this clown. So since they love Mickey so much, we're going to make them choose between the money. We're going to make you choose. We're going to make you choose. Since you set up you can't survive without the money. We already know that's the lifeblood. Our money is the lifeblood of your organization.
Yeah.
But if you think it's a struggle, you won't play with us, I'm good for it. All I have to do is not do nothing. And I'm good with not doing nothing because you're doing the same shit. You ain't doing nothing either. So we are twin. We out here twins right now. Big Q and the Saints are twins right now because we both, I ain't doing nothing and you ain't doing nothing, so we match. All right, so anyway, Pops, listen, man, I'm going to let you go ahead on, say the last word. I'll say what I got to say. We're going to get on up out of here.
Well, I can say go Saints. I know we got a team that's as bad or worse than ours, but I'd like to get a win, regardless of how the cut go. But I'm not, my hopes ain't all that good about it happening. So with that being said, good night, son, and we'll be hooking up next week.
All right, thank you, Pops, and a shout out to you, man. And the Pelicans lost tonight, 125-103. They get their first loss. The Trailblazers played a much better game, man. On that Pelican postgame report will be at tonight at 8:00 for the family members. DC and Lex will be on there representing the Flocking Nation. I didn't get a chance to watch the game. I was doing my Saint coverage. I was able to catch bits and pieces, so they'll cover that. But anyway, with that being said, we're gonna get out on that. Please, y'all do me a favor. Please feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Feel free to share the show on your social media feed. Also, the sponsors of our platform, Mint Mobile. Mint Mobile. Shout out if you're looking for some inexpensive cell phone service with great coverage. Check out Mint Mobile. The link is in the description section. Also, Teach Henley for the gentlemen skincare products, stuff like that, all natural. Y'all feel free to check that out. And Bet Online. All those the show sponsor for the platform is listed. Shout out to them guys. They are listed. Their links are in the chat. With Teach, you can get 20 to 40% off. Mint Mobile, great deals as well. And Bet Online. If you can't make money with the Saints, make money against them. Bet against their ass. That's what I say. The hell with them. All right, so anyway, I'm gonna see y'all later. Much love. Who that to you? Boss down. Pete rolls their ass. Pop, goddamn, he makes some money off their ass. You know
That's what you do. It might as well.
They ain't doing shit. They're making money. They're making money losing. Hell, we might as well do it too. I told you we're twins.
They making lose. They sure losing.
They're making money while they losing. We, if they can do it, I can do it again. We could be twins there too. Yeah. All right, so anyway, with that being said, much love. Who that? Peace. And I'm out. Peace.
Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shade for the championship. Fucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees on Roger Goodell. Yeah, fucking like this and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this and I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Your black and gold home for the New Orleans Saints.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything sports betting. Every stat, matchup, breakdown, even live odds and spreads to bet on during games. with the largest catalog of odds on everything from football, MLB playoffs, NHL, NBA to political props. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with over 150 slot games. Head to the website today to get on the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. Bet online. The game starts here.
WhoThatDaily.com. That's right, WhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, WhoThatDaily.com is your site. The WhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. Check out the Pro Shop and Who That too.